Yo, what up, and welcome to a new L.M.S.V. Yo, what up, and welcome to a new showcase number 30. We have finally hit it. I'm so happy, and yeah, this was definitely a milestone I wanted to hit before making my very first what if video in regards to Star Wars, because I have actually made a what if video before, which was called Under the Red Hood 2. Which is a series I will definitely continue later down the line, but it's also definitely later down the line. It's not necessarily for right now. But yeah, I'm aiming to have the next video be my very first Star Wars what if, like with sounds and everything. And of course it's about Starkiller, so but yeah, but I really wanted to hit this milestone before making that video because that's gonna take some time. I don't know how much, but I really am gonna do my best to make that look good and entertaining, and once it's finished I'll put a link to it. Or, you know, if you wanna know exactly when it's gonna be released, either go to my Patreon page, again link in the description to that as well, or just simply subscribe to this channel. But yeah, really wanted to hit the 30 video number when it comes to L.M.S.V. Before making that video, because again, I don't know how long that's gonna take, but I knew I could film this before. And yeah, and now we're quite firmly into, of course, season 2. Now, just like in season 1, I haven't really shown a lot of shawties and, well, women in general a lot of love in L.M.S.V. I've showcased Barriss Offee, of course. I've shown a future female character in that video as well, as in Nadia Anvari, but that's again a future showcase. But this character was like long overdue when it comes to like getting some love in the Qniverse, and that is of course Ahsoka Tano. Now I know that the Ahsoka series is out, and you know, as of right now it's like up in the air whether or not season 2 is going to be made, but I haven't even watched the first season because I'm not all that big of a fan of like the live action stuff from time to time. Like it's either a hit or a miss. But I did watch the Shin Hati and the Balin Skull scenes for obvious reasons. They're fantastic. And the Hayden Christensen scenes because gotta love him. But yeah, Ahsoka Tano is long overdue from getting some love in the Qniverse. So obviously for showcase number 30, we're gonna take a closer look at the 2008 Ahsoka Tano, the very first Clone Wars variant, which was basically in more than 5 Lego sets. So I'm not gonna list all of them. Like, and this is the classic version of Ahsoka Tano that basically every big Ahsoka Tano fan or Clone Wars fan should have. It doesn't cost a lot, I know that for a fact. I'm not sure if it's on Firestar Toys because they're restocking everything, so by the time this video has been released, maybe they do have it on their website. And if you want to get this minifigure and get a 10% discount, use my code FSHSQ1 and you get 10% off of that order, so you can get this minifigure for yourself from Firestar Toys if they have it. But yeah, it's long overdue, but let's show some love to the 2008 Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano right now. And here she is, and as you can see, Ahsoka looks absolutely fantastic. Now, if you ever wanted to talk about a minifigure that has a lot, and I do mean a lot of potential, it's this minifigure. Now, as I said before in the intro, I'm not gonna go over every single set that this minifigure comes in because she was in so many sets. I would definitely think that she is widely available. If not, I'm sure some websites such as Firestar Toys, who are restocking everything, will eventually have this character in stock as well. But yeah, I think this is the most widely available variant of Ahsoka, and you know, it is nice to see her growth in minifigure form from like 2008 all the way up to now, due to the Ahsoka series and all the various sets that have come out for that and will come out for that series. And of course all the various headdresses or headpieces slash Leku pieces are very, very cool because it just opens the door for so many custom variants of Ahsoka, especially Qniverse variants that will appear in the future. In future Star Wars what if storylines, but also if you just wanted to make Jedi that are the same species as Ahsoka. So it just opens the door to so many different possibilities, and I think that's really, really cool. And you could even make like a young Shakti thanks to this headpiece or headdress or Leku piece. however you want to call it, but again, this minifigure is really like the classic variant of Ahsoka Tano. Now, the reason why I didn't call this the video game accurate version is because in the LEGO Star Wars Clone Wars video game, or LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, she actually had a more simplified head. They didn't go for the full animation accurate look. It had a simple black eyes and, well, I do prefer the look in the game, in the LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars game, over what we got, but this was just hilarious. Like, all the minifigures from that time are hilarious. For example, here she is with, of course, the Anakin Skywalker that came out in 2008. And yeah, these heads, man, like, they are truly something else. Like, you either loved them or you hated them. I just found them funny, and they were accurate to, of course, the Clone Wars series. So it was weird, but like not bad weird, you know? I like it. But like I said, there isn't a lot going on when it comes to printing for this minifigure, hence why I said it has a lot of potential, which I'm actually already tapping into, because this is probably the last time that this Ahsoka minifigure of mine will look like this, because I'm already upgrading this minifigure to what I would like her to look like, which is a bit more accurate in height and with her hilt and, you know, that sort of thing, because no way in hell was she the same height as Anakin in the Clone Wars. So the fact that they have finally made the medium legs is just spectacular, and obviously you see him in the Lego Harry Potter sets, which look great. But the fact that we can now go back and even upgrade classic minifigures such as this one is just out of this world, and I really love it. But yeah, there's not a lot going on when it comes to printing for this minifigure, because as you can see, there's no arm printing nor any back printing. Now, something that I have noticed with some variants of this minifigure is that the blue on the leku or the headdress, whatever you want to call it, the top piece, is starting to come off over time. I'm lucky enough where that's not the case for me, but it's definitely been the case for some variants. So this is definitely a minifigure you have to take good care of. But personally, again, I really like this design. Now, a while back, I actually saw a video on IG where Ashley Eckstein, the voice actress of Ahsoka, talks about how weird she felt that she had basically recorded all the lines for, like, I think 1 or 2 years, or maybe, well, definitely longer than a year, for like the full season, or maybe the first 2 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and she was really nervous about whether or not the fans were gonna love it. And then apparently there were a lot of fans back in 2008 that didn't like the character, but personally I loved the character, and I love and respect Ashley Eckstein for absolutely crushing it as Ahsoka, especially when she came back to do Star Wars Clone Wars Season 7 after doing Rebels, because in Rebels, if you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, I do recommend it. The lightsabers are very thin for some reason. It was a very strange stylistic choice, but you know, it is what it is. I do like Star Wars Rebels over the live action Ahsoka series, mostly because, I don't know, just various reasons. I could go into detail about that, but I don't think that's really worth it. But regardless, maybe see a video for the future. But regardless of all that, I really respect her work and how she was able to come back to the Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, because obviously she's a lot younger in the Clone Wars, so being able to kind of like bridge the gap between, you know, season 6 Ahsoka, or I'm not even sure if she showed up in season 6. I kind of forgot in what season she left the Jedi Temple and just the Jedi Order. But regardless, to come back to a younger variant of Ahsoka Tano and basically bridge the old Clone Wars to Star Wars Rebels and, you know, all that good stuff, to bridge that vocally is very impressive. And of course, when Ahsoka Tano was introduced to us in 2008, it was around the same time as Star Wars The Force Unleashed, so it was kind of cool to see in the video game world Darth Vader having an apprentice, while in the world of like series and all that good stuff and movies, we basically saw Ahsoka Tano as Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. So we basically saw both variants of Anakin Skywalker have an apprentice, and I think that's also something that Sam Witwer, you know, often talks about and loves talking about, like how similar Galen, Merrick, and Ahsoka are, because they are both trained by a variant of Anakin Skywalker. So I just think that's very cool, and I don't know, I wasn't against it. Like, I'm very curious to kind of delve into the realm of like, what if Ahsoka, for example, was actually trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I think she would have been totally different. Because, you know, Ahsoka as Anakin's apprentice was very similar to Anakin, especially when it came to disobeying orders and doing things her own way instead of the traditional Jedi way. So, yeah, maybe that's something interesting to delve into the future. I don't know yet. The first Star Wars what if story that I've already referenced in my intro that I'm gonna showcase on here is, of course, my Starkiller storyline. So maybe I'll make a Star Wars what if focused on what if Obi-Wan trained Ahsoka instead of Anakin. Who knows? Only one way to find out, and that's, of course, by subscribing to the channel. If you want to see that, and if you want to have early access to all that when all of my content comes out, definitely go ahead and check out my Patreon page. That's where I'll upload every single video before it goes live on here. So yeah, link in the description to that. But again, such a classic version, but also so much potential. So absolutely fantastic. Now, like I said, I'm going to be upgrading this minifigure. So this will basically be the 1.0 variant of the Ahsoka based on how she looked in season 1, I think, all the way up to season 3 at the midway point. So yeah, this will definitely be the last time you see this minifigure looking like this. And then next time you're gonna see her on this channel, she's gonna be upgraded and looking even more accurate to the series. Not the video game, but the series. So I'm definitely gonna keep the noggin. But yeah, absolutely spectacular minifigure. Definitely a must-have for any Ahsoka fan, whether you're a fan of the live action Rosario Dawson variant of Ahsoka, or you're a fan of the Clone Wars version, or the Rebels version. This is an Ahsoka minifigure you gotta have in your collection. Also, just in general, like, she's absolutely fantastic, and I really like this design. Now, if you agree with me and you like this showcase, definitely don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, early access is on my Patreon page, as well as if you just want to support me on a more personal level. And once I have actually showcased the new version of Ahsoka, the upgraded version, I will make the build kit for that and post it on Patreon as well. So if you want to have the build kit once that video has come out and you like the design that I went for, yeah, definitely check out my Patreon page for that. Once you become a member, you will also get access to everything else I've ever posted on Patreon, so every other build kit. Yeah, I'll even draw you as a Space Ranger from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, mostly just because I love that series and Buzz Lightyear. So yeah, but I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give this minifigure, it's actually a tough one, I'm gonna give her just a solid 8. There's a lot of room for upgrading potential, but overall, solid design, solid release back in 2008, and I really like it. So again, if you agree with me, definitely don't forget to hit that like button. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So from 2008, Ahsoka Tano, as well as from yours truly, I hope you had an awesome day. I wish you an awesome day. And I'll see you guys and girls in the next video. Now let's go to the character roster, because you've now officially unlocked 2008 Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano.